Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Slamhub Wrestling. Myself, Suprit, and this is your AEW Dynamite review for April 7th, 2021. And I could say this was a decent show, but personally, I was concerned more on what was happening on the other show this week. What do you think about
it? I guess I was probably I would not be having a similar opinion because I do not watch WWE, but still I would be more concerned with NXT Takeover rather than this show. Even when they did announce that they had Mike Tyson, and there was a story with regards to the Young Bucks. No, I would agree. This was, in Hindi, there's a term, Thanda show. I would agree. Even with a lot of, they had they tried the buzz. They tried to make it a buzzworthy show, but I'm very sorry. It was not.
So let's see, we had Hangman Page versus Max Caster, Jurassic Express versus Bear Country. We heard from the Inner Circle. We had a TNT Championship match. Darby Allin, he was defending against JD Drake. And we had a little women's action here, Conti versus the Bunny. And in the main event, we had Kenny Omega and Good Brothers. So they faced John Moxley and the Young Bucks. And so much more. But before that, if you are new to this channel, then make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. We'll be trying to cover, all the festivities for Mania weekend, WrestleMania itself. We had NXT Takeover, Stand and Deliver. I think I'll be trying to cover it tomorrow. So that's all. Check that out. And let's talk Dynamite. But before Dynamite, I want to get this out quickly. Let's talk about the big news that broke last week. Chris Jericho, he will be making his WWE Network return on the Broken Skull sessions with Steve Austin. I know there was a funny story regarding it. Like Vince McMahon, he casually approved this, after Austin reached out to him and McMahon gave him the thumbs up casually. When they broke the story, I really didn't believe it was true, because it was the day they broke it, it was April 1st. But when, I saw that video, then I realized, oh, this is some real shit here. So pretty big stuff here. But what do you expect? Can we expect bigger things from this?
I think it is a one-off, and right now AEW is not a very big thing, so as to be a little worried. And this thing which they are doing with the Broken Skull sessions, it is, I guess, it is benefiting both WWE and also AEW. How it is that it is giving, indirectly AEW, you can say, publicity, and WWE, it is giving them, you can say, subscribers, because now they are on Peacock, and it is already getting a lot of trash because of the right to censor gimmick they have, adopted from the Attitude Era. So that is, you can say, now they will get subscribers now, because in US, probably it is not very, you can say, it is not in fashion to, go through the illegal streaming stuff like it is here in our home country, India. So you can say that they will get a lot of subscribers, they will get a lot of buzz at Peacock and also others, streaming services throughout the world, because they want to see that what happened, what did Chris Jericho say, what did he not say. So there is a buzz, obviously, and it is WrestleMania weekend, so all the eyes are on WWE. So it is benefiting both AEW, or you can say Chris Jericho, and also WWE. So it is benefiting both the brands. So why it is a problem? But yes, there is a narrative. Obviously, AEW fans would say that we are getting some, and we should take the side of AEW, and WWE would say that we are the bigger people and we are giving AEW such a platform. We are not concerned with AEW. AEW is Bush League, and we do not give a fuck about them. But still, it is benefiting both. It is good for business. That is why it is happening, or else it would not be happening. WWE is not God, that they are just out there, take it on a silver platter. No, it is benefiting both. That is why it is happening. That's it.
And what do you think about, could this spark, a potential, talent exchange or something?
I do not think so at this point. No, I do not think so, because AEW and its owners have such a potential to be a credible competition. Probably they are still at this point, and even in the inner circle segment, they just gave a little you can say bite, that Chris Harrington, the vice president of AEW, is about to visit India. So it is now it is already official that it is going to happen. The TV deal with India, it will be announced with most probably Eurosports. So it is happening. So now it is such a threat from the if we compare it to the time of the 90s. So why would you have a talent exchange? You would only be getting the competition to your level. So I don't think so that you would be helping your competition to such a level. It is like you are helping TNA to get to your level. So I don't think so. It is just a one-off, in my opinion.
So that was the whole situation with Jericho appearing on the Broken Skull session. So let's get to Dynamite, man. So they kicked off with Hangman Page versus Max Caster. So we had, the commentators, so they're giving more emphasis on Hangman Page being the number one contender, and this could be signaling that he is getting that title shot sooner than we expected. So they said that Max Caster. So this guy, had 3 wins, beating members of Dark Order. So we would see Hangman Page beating Max Caster. So thoughts on this match, Abby?
It was a decent, you can say decent competitive bout. And with regards to it, yes, Hangman Page right now is ranked number 1 with the World Championship situation, yes. And, the Acclaimed, at one point they targeted the shoulder, the left shoulder of Hangman Page, and the selling, it is modern day professional wrestling. It was not, up to the mark, in my opinion only. The mark should not get so offended with regards to it, because it is Hangman Adam Page. But nonetheless, at in the initial point, it was Hangman Adam Page, one-way street. He was dominating, but after the post to the shoulder, it was the Acclaim. But at the end, he hit the buckshot lariat and he got the win, even with the shoulder. He did it effortlessly. So that is the point which gets to your head, that how did he get it? He could have, sold the injury. He could have done some or the other move. He could have done the dead eye. He could have done some or the other thing with the injury. That is what professional wrestling gives you. He has so much of experience. Hangman Page. Max Caster doesn't have that experience, but Hangman Page has. So he could have done that. That is what in-ring's psychology comes into play. That you have an injury, so do some other shit or sell it so as to give that a story. But, it is what it is.
So, like you said, Max Caster was targeting Hangman's arm, and we did see, Page dominating for the most part. We had involvement of Anthony Bowens, so he's back. So he was trying to, introduce the boombox. So we get to the end. Page gets rid of Bowens and Buckshot to Caster for the win, and that's it. And like I said in the beginning, I think we are getting, Adam Page getting that world title shot sooner. I think it's happening, or Double or Nothing or something.
Possibly, we were expecting that it would be happening a year from now, or maybe 6 months from now. But possibly, it is happening soon, very soon.
But it
Let's
has been,
see.
it has been a very natural build for, Adam Page. Like he was randomly, getting some wins for most dynamites he has been on, and it has been a natural progression for him.
Yes, I would agree. Yes, absolutely. And he is their top baby face, for AEW. And he is young, and he is, built as such that he is your top baby face, and the cowboy shit thing. And, he drinks beer and alcoholic, whatever, that he is what young people are also into him. So it is great, obviously. And it is sinking into me right now that possibly what the Young Bucks teased on BT with regards to Hangman Adam Page some time ago, that when they got to know that it was Matt Hardy who sent the text and not Hangman Page. And now what has happened on in the main event tonight. So possibly it is happening that Bucks are going to double cross Omega, and Hangman would be getting the championship. It seems that way at this point, possibly.
We'll have to wait and
Let's
see
see.
where that goes, and we will get to that main event part. But we quickly
Yes.
see Shivani. So he was in the ring. He was about to interview, Death Triangle. Pac is back. We are informed that Phoenix and Pac will get their tag team title match next week. So they are interrupted by, Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. Cassidy on the mic, he reminds us the history between, them and the Death Triangle. They show the highlights of the pre-pandemic, when they actually started the feud between these two faction or trios, whatever you want to call it. So, Best Friends, they actually challenge the Triangle for a match. The Death Triangles, they kind of accepted, I think. And they also said that Best Friends need to get on their level. So there you go. I want to ask you, do you think that, they get the tag team titles next week? Because I personally wouldn't mind them getting the tag team titles.
I would also not mind, because they are, so talented and legit. But I do not see the Young Bucks losing. Even after what has happened in the main event, I do not expect now to, them to lose now at this point. This is going to progress. The Bullet Club is going to progress now, and their relationship is going to progress. So, and why have they booked the tag team title match next week? I don't know. They could have stretched it. The best friends could have done some shit with regards to it and could have, stretched it along so that the next week's match, or the tag team title match, could have been stretched along, you know maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks down the line, and they could have gotten the match, because they are so talented, so legit. So at this point they have already given us that what they are doing next. So it is a little, you know uh, that what is the point of this match.
Basically, you're saying that AEW kind of rushed with Pac and Vince getting the title shot this early.
Yes, in my opinion, yes. But they have to go about weeks and build a show, and have to have must see TV, so they got to have such matches. So they are having it.
So in the back, we see Christian Cage. So he was being interviewed. He talks about his match with Frankie Kazarian. So here comes Tazz, and he talks his history with Christian, and quickly, openly makes an offer to Christian Cage. So he asked him if he could like to join Team Taz, and says him if he joins their group Team Taz, that not only he would share his own experience and knowledge, but in return they could help him to elevate him. So we could be expecting, I would say not a feud, but mini feud with Team Taz and Christian Cage. And this is happening at the same time. There are some problems going on with the Team Taz faction, especially with Brian Cage. So thoughts on this?
Yes, it would be, you can say that these problems which are arising in this faction, that would be the reason for Christian Cage getting the victory on either of the members, possibly Ricky Starks, as far as it seems, because he is the most outspoken of all the members. So possibly he would be first in line to challenge, and it would be a great match nonetheless, because he is greatly talented. But there would be some reason, and that would be possibly Brian Cage, and that would be the, you can say, the final nail in the coffin of this faction. And then Brian Cage would will not be a part of this faction anymore. And then we would get Brian Cage versus Ricky Starks going forward.
By the way, Ricky Starks versus Christian seems like quote unquote safe match, because you don't want Christian going against the other two big guys.
Yes.
So from that, we get to Jurassic Express versus Bear Country. They gave this match all the Godzilla versus King Kong vibe. And the only history these two teams had, I think, they had problems with each other in the tag team battle royal at Revolution. Match aside, what do you think about Bear Country, man?
I do not know about them any more than they are just having a match, because I do not watch AEW Dark or AEW Dark Elevation, so I am not familiarized with them, any of such. And with regards to this match, I only concluded that it was an exhibition match with regards to promoting the Finn, that is Godzilla versus Kong. So there's that. I cannot even say that it was a good match. It was an exhibition match with a predictable outcome. Nothing else. And even JR at one point said, I guess when the bout was over, he said that there were a lot of points it was that it was not going as per it should. That he was hinting that there were a lot of botches, or possibly things were not going as they should, but it it happened, and I don't.
So
What did you think about it?
there indeed were some botches here and there. For example, Bear Holder, Bear Boulder, I should say. So he had Jungle Boy in the powerbomb position. So Luchasaurus, he was, I think, going for a crossbody, and Boulder was about to catch him, but that didn't happen. There was another spot, where Bear Bronson, he picked a Boulder, vice versa. What happened was they picked their team member up, and they did a cannonball, which I liked. It was a great spot. So at the end, Jurassic Express got the win. Luchasaurus hit a choke slam, a moonsault combo, and that was it. Felt like an exhibition match at the end of the day.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's get to the good stuff, man. The Inner Circle, they are back. Their official return. So these guys come to the ring, they are all in black. So Jericho on the mic, he said that they knew MJF was gonna, turn their back and show his true colors, and they were ready for him, but they didn't realize that MJF was one step ahead of them. So Jericho then talks about all the members of the Pinnacle and starts burying them one by one. So Jericho then said that he's gonna give the fans what they want, and it's gonna be on May 5th. That is Inner Circle versus Pinnacle inside Blood and Guts. I'll get to the Mike Tyson part, but what do you think about this promo? And finally, Blood and Guts.
Blood and Guts, we were expecting it from last year, and now it is finally happening. Yes, so it is great, looking forward to it, and now it is happening. So with regard to the promo, possibly I thought that it was a little long to my liking, but nonetheless it was fine, because what happened after that this promo happened, and what happened in the second hour with regards to all the beatdown and what happened, that Mike Tyson and stuff like that, that encapsulated that Chris Jericho was bad mouthing them, and then they took their revenge. So it fully encapsulated that. So uh, I was okay with regards to it. Is what happened in the second hour that fully encapsulated what happened in this promo. So I guess I was pretty much okay with what happened in this promo. Chris Jericho bad mouthing all the members of the Pinnacle. So I was okay with what happened in this promo and him bad mouthing everybody. And there's that. And I caught you can say a bite of the great Jim Cornette with regards to this feud. So there was this thing that he said that what happened last week, the beatdown from the inner circle. So that finished off this feud, because what happens is that the only thing which sells the pay-per-view, that is that the babyface has to seek revenge on the heels, that the heels did a bad thing. That is, the Pinnacle did the beatdown first. So the baby faces, that is the inner circle, had to get revenge. So that should be the selling point of the pay-per-view. That is the selling point of the pay-per-view. So that they did on a random Dynamite. So what is there left? What is there to left? What is there left to do, basically? That now they have beaten down the Pinnacle in such a horrific fashion. So what is there left to do? So that was his question. So now what is left? So now that was a legit question. So what is your take on that?
I think maybe the end story is blood and guts.
Mm-hmm. So they could have, omitted the beatdown which they did last week, possibly.
Maybe, but I also said the same question last week. Was it too soon for them to return?
Yes.
They could have hold it till at least next week.
Yes. Next week, or possibly 3 to 4 weeks, so as to make it real, legit, that yes, it takes time to heal. And it was legit. It was such a horrific beatdown by the Pinnacle that it takes time to heal. But
So let's get to the Tyson part here. Later on the night, we would see the Pinnacle attack Chris Jericho. So the rest of the inner circle. So these guys, were locked in their dressing room and trying to get out. So in the ring, Jericho was about to put through a table, but here comes Mike Tyson. So he came for the save and he started beating the shit out of Sean Spears. As rest of the Pinnacle escaped. Jericho and Tyson finally embraced, and that was it. It looks like Mike Tyson will be playing some part in that blood and guts match. Who knows, maybe enforcer or something. And if you think in that way, his appearance on Dynamite makes some sense. What do you think?
let's see, if he is of some part in Blood and Guts, because right now it seems that his appearance is only, confined to next week. Next week they have a match Dax Harwood with Cash Wheeler, ringside versus Chris Jericho with Sammy Guevara ringside, and they have Mike Tyson as the enforcer. So I think that that would be it with regards to his, appearance. That is what it seems at the moment. Because Mike Tyson is also, making an appearance on Dynamite because he has to publicize his fight against Holyfield. I guess it is on May 29th at this point. And when he appeared last time, he had a fight, but it got possibly postponed. So that is why he, did not appear on Dynamite. After his, scuffle with Chris Jericho. So that was the reason why he didn't make an appearance. So now he is making an appearance because his fight is set for May 29th. So that was the reason. That was not the reason because that it is WrestleMania week and they had to counter program NXT takeover. I do not think so that it was the reason. Possibly it was this much reason that it was NXT takeover, but I don't think so that it was a big reason that they had to counter program with Mike Tyson. I don't think so because he has a fight, he has to publicize it well in time because he also has to prepare for it. So he has to have time for that too. So it has to be done in time. So that is why he appeared on Dynamite this week. And yes, of course, next week.
So let's see where that goes. Up next, we had a promo from QT Marshall. He said he was, tired of doing the work for Cody Rhodes and, carrying his old brother, Dustin Rhodes. So then he starts shooting on Cody's career, how he could make it in WWE. And then he found some vanilla midgets in the Indies. I'm sure this line popped you.
It did.
He then started putting over his three guys. Said Aaron Solo will no longer be known as someone's boyfriend. Ding dong, hello. Nick Camarado. Nick Camarado, he said about him that he's not just will be known as a body guy. And then he talks about Anthony Ogogo, and Anthony Ogogo got some mic time, and that was it. And they also hyped up his, in-ring debut, I think, next week. So, what do you think about this promo and this entire thing? I could say this a follow-up after the beatdown on Cody. What do you think?
Yes, last week I also, talked about that, that QT has to be, dominant and have a presence, or else the other people in this faction or in this group would outshine him. So this promo, it looked, made him look dominant, and it was a, excellent promo. He is doing great. And that being said, it didn't look phony because it came from a place that was real and it didn't have facts which are, window dressed or they are made. It wasn't fake. It came from a place which was real. So, if you are saying shit which comes from a place which is real, so that more good television and that makes people invested. So it is great. Not just from the phrase vanilla midgets, but the overall shit. It was good.
So from that, we get to Shivani again. So this time he was interview Sting. So here comes Jake Roberts talking shit to Sting. So Lance Archer arrives, takes the microphone from Roberts. So he's still mad that Sting is taking his TV time. So Sting had heard enough, tells Jake Roberts to take care of him, and then he will get his TV time and will be back in the main event. So on the other hand, we had Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky in the Raptors. So let's talk about these guys first. For weeks they were hyping up Scorpio Sky, with his promo packages. Finally, getting a push as a singles guy, but they have paired him with Ethan Page. Now he's a tag team wrestler again. What do you think about this direction that they have this for these two guys?
It is, a comfort place for both the guys because they were in a tag team before. Scorpio Sky with SCU, Ethan Page with the North in Impact Wrestling and in independent circuit. So it is a good place. It is a familiar place for both the guys. Yes, we were expecting a singles run for Scorpio Sky, but there is no place, or probably there is no TV time, for the guys. So they have put them in a tag team. They are possibly competing at this point on Dark and Dark Elevation as a tag team. I don't know. Yes, they are. Okay. So that is for them to, get familiarized with one another and, get the reps. And now they would be on Dynamite. So it seems at this point that possibly Archer and Sting are, getting together, because at this point it seems that way. Because, Darby Allin doesn't need Sting anymore. His thing is done. It seems that way because, their feud is done, everything is done. He is just mentoring him, yes, but anything of substance Sting is doing, I don't think so with Darby Allin. So he needs to be in a program with a guy. So who else, rather than Lance Archer? So they can do shit if they want. So Lance Archer and Sting, let's see what happens if they are thinking in that direction. Let's see.
So we get to Darby Allin versus JD Drake. This was for the TNT Championship, and just like you, this was my first time, watching JD Drake, and thought, this was he came off really good, and he's, that old school type of wrestler, which that makes him stand out. Thoughts on JD Drake?
Yes, I would agree that it looked good. He looked great. He had the size and physicality at his disposal in this match, and his attire. We have seen in the past when he's not competing, when he is ringside or he is there to make an appearance. He has the attire of the wrestler, that is Nikolai Volkov. So he has that vibe to it. So it was yes, it was his debut, and he looked great. He looked explosive with his offense, and he had the majority of the offense because yes, Darby Allin is the sympathetic baby face, and he does that. His heart, his resilience is the story of most of the bouts. He isn't the babyface who is dominant. He gets the sympathy. He has the heart. He has the resilience, and his opponents just get a little too close to the victory, but don't get that victory. So JD Drake was great, in my opinion. Great clash of styles. and Darby took a lot of punishment, and he sold that too. That is his, his forte. He is great at it. And it was a great competitive bout. And, you know, the thing with regards to the commentators, basically that Excalibur and the start of the bout, he said that like Brody Lee, Darby Allin is taking on all comers. So, are you sure about that? Because Brody Lee was a heel. The guy who took on all comers was Cody Rhodes. And you also, contradicted your point afterwards. You said that Cody Rhodes was, throwing out open challenges in the midst of the bout. So we are not stupid, basically. And if you are, trying to honor the legacy of Brody Lee, so give the man the respect. Keep it real. Don't put out fake, facts with regards to his career. He was a heel. He was a heel. So why are you, putting babyface shit on it? That he was taking on all comers. And even if it was a thing with regards to taking on all comers, it was a shoot thing. It was not on camera. So why are you saying it on commentary on camera to us that he was taking on all comers? Because that looks bad. That is a thing which should not be said to the audience. Because we know Brody Lee as a heel, as a good bad guy. So honor his legacy as such. Do not say shit which is not real. So you are doing a bigger disservice by saying that. That's all
So
with
let's
regards to
talk
that.
some highlights, man. Let's talk some highlights about this TNT title match. We had let's see, the match, was kind of good. We saw, Drake pulling off some big moves here and there, for example, a cannonball. So at one point, both men, were fighting on the top. Drake, he knocks Allin. So Allin, he ran towards Drake, but Drake hits with a flying knee out of nowhere. We had involvement, of Sister Bononi and Ryan Nemeth. So Sting, he chases Nemeth out of his place with his baseball bat. So final part of the match, so both men up top again. So Allin hits a sunset bomb and the coffin drop for the win, and that was it. We had a little post-match angle, with Butcher and Blade attacking Allin, Matt Hardy leading the charge here. Bunny, she was actually ordering commentary team to leave their table. They wanted to use their table. So here comes Dark Order
She
and
thought it
Sting.
was WWE.
So here comes Dark Order and Sting chasing all the heels. So Bunny actually got cornered by the Dark Order, but she gets attacked by Conti. So these two will be having a match later on. But they did announce that Matt Hardy will be getting a TNT title shot against Darby Allin in a false count anywhere next week. Just like I said for the tag team title situation, we could expect a surprising title change.
Uh, I don't think so that possibly Darby Allin is losing the title soon. But let's see what happens.
No matter who
Let's
comes
see.
out the winner next week, let's keep Matt Hardy away from lifts and elevators.
Yes.
Let's quickly get into Ty Conti versus the Bunny. This came as a result of what happened in the tag team match. Conti getting pinned by the Bunny. So we had Dark Order and the Hardy family office. Also Hikaru Shida ringside. So Conti was she was in full control. Hardy family tried to get involved, which led to a brawl between them and Dark Order, which is becoming a norm every week now. So Bunny then tried to use the kendo stick on Ty Conti, but here comes Shida. She didn't allow Bunny to do this. So Conti with a superplex and the Ty DT for the win, and that's basically it. So yeah, everything is building up to the women's title match. I don't know when that's gonna happen on a random Dynamite, not in a pay-per-view.
Yes, it seems that way. It was a competitive match nonetheless, and they also had a promo with, I guess, Britt Baker and Reba and Rebel. So that also had this point that now Britt Baker would be competing on Dark and Dark Elevation and getting the wins up so as to, get a better ranking and then, challenging for the women's championship. So there are many people who are gunning for Hikaru Shida. So the only person who is now, who can dethrone, that is Britt Baker.
That's your double or
I don't
match.
think so. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. And there was also a thing which was, put up on the, Keeping It 100 podcast of Conan. That was that the treatment of Britt Baker after this match that happened with Thunder Rosa. It was the lights out match. That screams babyface. What they have done, AEW, and even the video that they put out on social media, that screams babyface for Britt Baker. Even when Britt Baker has done excellent promo afterwards, so as to put the flames down with regards to her being a babyface and what she did in that match. But AEW is doing such a thing that the hardcore fans would cheer for her. Because if there are fans at this point, if there is a full house, they would cheer for Britt Baker. And they are doing whatever it takes to build her up as a babyface. They are giving her, center stage promos. And now we are not seeing Thunder Rosa anymore. Thunder Rosa, she is a babyface. And we are not seeing her anymore. The only footage we saw was on the YouTube video, the only short clip, the short interview which she had with Tony Schiavone. Afterwards, we haven't seen Thunder Rosa in as far as I can recall on Dynamite any times. We have not seen her. We have seen, possibly, if you are watching NWA Power, we possibly have seen her on that. But other than that, we have not seen her. If she was there only to put over Britt Baker and that was done, it was a one-off and it is done, and now she will not be seen on Dynamite anymore. If that was the plan, so it is done. We will not see Thunder Rosa anymore. But if you want seriously Britt Baker as a heel, you should not, put out videos or give her center stage so much, and putting the t-shirts out with bleeding face of hers, and you are selling her as a baby face, or is it 2021? Merchandise is more important. uh, it boggles your mind sometimes.
It is 2021, and as far as I've seen, they have managed to keep the heat on Britt Baker. Like I was saying, 2 weeks ago when she cut that promo, when she mentioned
Yes,
Mick Foley and all. But they
yes,
need to, the company needs to keep that heat on her. Don't let like you said, the hardcore cheer her. This, at the end of the day, this will make your baby face. For example, Hikaru Shida look bad.
yes, absolutely. And if they are doing it on purpose, that people should cheer her, and people should cheer her when she gets the championship, then we should not comment on that, because old school is were that they want to get the hatred, and if they want the hardcore fans to cheer for her, then fuck out of here.
Let's get to the main event match. Kenny Omega and Good Brothers Sudhir faced John Moxley and Young Bucks. Compared to the recent trios match we had in AEW, this wasn't that chaotic. But the main story was Matt Jackson hesitating to excuse me, to lay hands on Omega. So this annoyed John Moxley at the end. Moxley tagged himself in, hits two Death Riders on Omega. So Bucks then heard enough from Moxley and double super kick him. So out of nowhere comes Eddie Kingston. He's limping. He gets taken out by the Good Brothers. Magic Killer on the stage. A Magic Killer to Moxley. So Omega pins Moxley, and that's it. We expected, like we discussed last week, that there could
Yes.
be a possible swerve with the Young Bucks. But what did you think about the way they pulled this off? What do you think about it?
First of all, told you so. And secondly, I don't know. It didn't, look as good as it should have. I don't know. It lacked the energy, it lacked the excitement, it lacked the overall energy, the vibe. It didn't look, as it should, because the story, they were trying so hard, they were trying to hammer it home, but it didn't it didn't translate to us as such. Even the match, if you look at the match, it lacked the energy. you know it also has come about from the fact that it from the botched explosion. There is no doubt, because they possibly had to you know uh, write off John Moxley at that point, but they weren't able to. But now they have to. So now they have changed their plans and how they had to do shit and whatever. But they have done it. They could have stretched it, and they could have done it at a pay-per-view or at a show that was such a energetic, that had such an energetic vibe to it, or a pay-per-view or something like that. But this show, this main event, it didn't have that. For example, winter is coming. Winter is coming had such a vibe to it. It looked that way. The end, when what it started off. It started off with such an angle, and this show possibly it wasn't the right stage, in my opinion. Yes, it is WrestleMania weekend and whatever, but it didn't have that thing to it. It just didn't. They rushed this too, in my opinion, in some way. They rushed this too. You know,
So
whatever.
after all this, could we see, Moxley now setting his eyes just on the Young Bucks?
Possibly, yes. John Moxley and Eddie Kingston versus the Young Bucks.
Maybe. Because
Possibly, and that, yes, yes.
that opens the door for Hangman Page to enter the world title scene and challenge Omega.
Yes.
But you also fantasy booked the Bucks joining this club only to double turn on Omega and Don Callis and their entire crew, and give help. Page get that world championship.
Yes. I don't. The thing is that they are rushing these things so damn. And they will rush this too. If it is in their hands, they can rush anything. And if it is in their hands, they can rush that too. And if they want to, they should have the Hangman Adam Page versus Kenny Omega match, in the distant future. Not so early.
Not even double or
Or
nothing.
if they. If they are having that match at Double or Nothing, that is in May.
After Blood and Guts.
Then this double cross would not be happening this early. And if it is up to Tony Khan, then he can rush anything. He can do that double cross. But the fact is, if you are trying to build that story, then possibly you should stretch it along, and possibly you can have two matches, Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page. If you had, versus John Moxley, two matches, you can have versus Hangman Adam Page, two matches with some shenanigans with the Bullet Club. And then, Bucks come to the realization, and then the double cross finally happens. So they would have to book that, but stretch it, make it a story, make us invested. Because if you are doing such shit, rushing every story, we will not get invested. We will not get excited for it. Because what happened in the main event, it, for me, it fell flat. What was your take with regards to the story which they were trying to tell in the main event?
I think I also have the same opinion as you. Like, we expected certain things to happen, but it didn't came off that strong, that impactful at the end. And yeah, and after we have went through this whole review, I think at least there are 3 storylines or feuds that are being rushed.
And they are there. They are their main thing. That is how they, sell the show. They get the fans invested. And if they are rushing things, then how would the fans get invested?
Let's see, man. They got at least a month to, have this story settle in, not rush things. Let's see how they could come up with, some decent storytelling.
Hmm. Yes, and people even laud AEW for their storytelling and long-term storytelling. But what is happening for the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it is screaming, rushing storytelling and making us feel like what the fuck is happening, and and falling flat. Anything and everything. What happened. You know
So that
is
was
this
Dynamite,
the
man. I'm sorry, what are you saying?
yes, you know is this the panic of WrestleMania weekend that it went to your head? I don't know.
Speaking about WrestleMania week, they also have, their first house show on Friday, I guess.
Yes.
What do you think about that? Because people, were assuming, once they held the thought of, Cody once said that they will never try to, run Mania weekend or something like that. But what you think about this, quote unquote, piggybacking of this big week?
Other promotions also do such shit, and they are not doing a show that big, that is televised for us or streaming for us, for the worldwide audience to see. So they are doing a house show that people are coming to that state, that city, and if they want to watch wrestling, so they can come about and they can watch. So it is a treat for the wrestling fans who are coming to Florida. So it is a win-win for the people who are coming there for WrestleMania weekend. So for us it is a little, you can say bad that we won't be able to watch that, and they could have gotten it, saying that they could have streamed it, on YouTube or Facebook, just like they did with the press conferences that they did at the start of their promotion. So nonetheless, but if they pull off some or the other surprise, which if I am the promoter, that I would be doing that for WrestleMania weekend or whatever. It is the first house show in this era, and having a surprise that would create a lot of buzz, and videos would circulate worldwide. An arrival of a certain superstar, anything and everything can happen on that show. So they can do something which creates a buzz, and they should, in my opinion, if they want to do that.
So before we leave, where can these guys find you?
Guys, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at AbbeyManiac, and I am working currently with an independent wrestling promotion in India called Wrestle Square. You can subscribe to their YouTube channel, and I also have a YouTube channel, so you can subscribe to that at AbbeyManiac.
You can find Slamhub Wrestling on Twitter at SlamHubW, Instagram at SlamHub Wrestling. And you can find the audio version of this review on Spotify and Anchor as well. And see you guys next time.